let's take a step back and more of the operational side. What's a day in a life as the executive chef of a large catering company look like? What kind of responsibilities do you take on day to day? What do you delegate to your sous chefs and to some of the other departments?
Normally, first thing when I get in, I'm checking in with the team. I'm checking in with the lead members, right? Where are we at? Checking on flavor, checking on consistency. Timing and temperature is huge in our business, especially if it's delivery. Just making sure we're following our SOPs, basically. And then for me, I like to make sure that like if we have a new menu coming out, if I'm writing the menu and then we're doing a tasting, I like to see it through, especially for the first few times. From the tasting to the event, all the way through for the whole thing. Every day is different, as you know, in this industry.
That's actually what I like about it, to be honest, is because at a restaurant, it is kind of the same thing. You're doing the same menu and stuff like that. Catering is really cool. What I tell people is because you're at different venues, you have different menus, and it is more of a dynamic job because it's not the same every day. My dyslexic brain doesn't work like that, so this is really good for me because I get to see so many different things.
Right. No, exactly. And I mean, it changes, but for me, like the food comes first, right? And I want to make sure that the quality of what we're doing, it's my name at the end of the day on that food, and I want to make sure no matter what it is, the quality is top shelf. And so I try to focus on food menus, training the team, consistency, things of that nature. There's a lot that goes into a catering company, right? So, time and temps and we're doing deliveries, so that obviously is a huge deal when it comes to temperature and things of that nature. But our sous chefs are making sure the day-to-day stuff is being handled. They're there to support our vision in the goal that, we want to be the best that we can possibly be.
Who does the ordering and the scheduling in your operation?
We have a purchaser that does all the purchasing. The purchaser has its own receiving team. We're doing the volume that we're doing is so heavy, and as you know, that food that comes in the back door, that's where it all begins, right? Well, it actually starts where are we purchasing from, obviously, but not to get too off subject, So our purchase team has a receiving team that handles that. As far as the scheduling goes, our sous chefs will handle the scheduling we have a sous chef that handles hotline, sous chef that handles cold line. Our executive pastry chef handles all things on his end, and we're looking for a pastry sous chef. So if anyone's listening by the time this
Shout
comes
out for pastry sous chef.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, exactly. So always looking for good people, always looking for talent. Always.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest challenges in this industry, probably every industry, is keeping and retaining great talent because, especially for us, the seasonality really hits us hard in January, February, March. You don't have the dollars coming in to offset the labor that you want to keep on hand for the busy months. So it is a challenge at times, and I'm sure Blue Plate has some of the similar issues where it's like you can't keep everybody on, because the sales could be, $1 million one month and $10 million the next month,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's about, but that's the toughest part of our business, right? Is the dips. Strategically, I think when I'm hiring someone, I'm letting them know come at the end of October, if you're not in the top 75 of our employees out of, I oversee about 170 right now. So, we have different departments that manage that, but if you're not in the top 75, there's not going to be that much work for you. And then you have some people that have worked here for 20 to 25 years. So how you balance that. But I think it's not okay, you're not going to have a job in November. It's the volume's going to dip. So pick up the hours you can now, and then when there's time, we try to keep people on training, consistency. Because even if we spend that money in November, we'll get it back by not having to rehire someone in March, in November. And then December it picks up. You know how it goes, but January, February are pretty dead. We've, the business dining accounts and delivery and some of that stuff has helped kind of pick that up. So we try to find creative ways to, keep jobs and keep people busy, so, hiring. I feel like you talk to any chef, it's just the biggest challenge, especially in catering, I feel like.
The culinary industry is very challenging, but with challenge, there comes reward too. So talk about how you think about the reward for working so hard. You have a very stressful job, very challenging job. You have issues that come up when the grill doesn't get delivered and you have to come up with some new idea in 24 hours. How do you feel about that, and why do you think that works for you and your personality, your lifestyle?
That's a great question. I don't know that I've really thought about that much. Like, I mean, I played sports, right? So I'm naturally energetic. I get excited. I think over time I fell in love with food. I think growing up working with my dad, I mean, he was great to the people that he worked with and his employees. And so I think I love the personal relationship that the relationships that come out of this industry. I mean, look at you and I running into each other, and and I can call you up for a grill. Like, all that is like, at the end of the day, you sit back and you're like, wow, this is pretty freaking cool. I look at the relationships is important to me. I mean, I have 15 people that work at Blue Plate today that I worked with 15 years ago. So I think that speaks volumes about, the culture and how we want to drive. And also I'm proud of those people and what they've accomplished and done. And what they've done for me to be able to accomplish what I've accomplished, and what we're going to continue to do. So I think that's like the biggest thing for me, I think, is the relationships. And then the reward from a food standpoint, like seeing someone's face when, they try that, that lion's mane, or they try, one of the new hors d'oeuvres we're rolling out, and, surprising people and pushing and, just giving it your best effort every day. And Jim has this saying on the wall. Jim's the owner of Blue Plate, Jim Horan. And so he wrote on a napkin, 1983, happy people making people happy, right? So I think making people happy is kind of, I grew up in the hospitality industry. And so I think it's just super important to me. And it makes me happy, like going home at the end of the day and looking in the mirror and being like, we really gave it our all today. And, I think that it's a special feeling, and I know you've been through it your whole life. You grew up in the industry. So
I tell people, especially if they're just getting started, and, I call it the servant's heart. You really have to, just like you said, exactly how you said it, is it has to make you happy to make other people happy. And at the end of the day, that's what our industry is all about. Yeah, it's creating experiences, and it's about being innovative and, being the best you can be, but you really has to make you feel good to work hard to make other people happy. Because if you don't have the guests coming back over and over again, we're not going to have a job. So I think that there's so much about what the first part about you said really rang true to me. The camaraderie in the kitchen and working with the team and seeing people elevate and grow, there's not much of a better feeling. I mean, it's almost like the parent feeling too. It's like seeing these guys really grow and get it. And now I'm to the point where we've had people similar to you, it's like working at our business for 20 years, where sometimes I'll go in the kitchen and start trying to do something. They'll be like, Duce, you don't have to be in here. We got it. We got it. Yeah, sure. And I mean, that's such a great feeling. And it's not like I don't want to help them or anything like that, but if I'm doing something, I'm almost taking some pride away from them at some point. They love being able to show that they've got it dialed in and it's going to be great and stuff like that. And you have to let people fly sometimes and understand that dynamic of when to step in and when it's better to take a step back.
Yeah,
so
I
good,
think
man.
That's such a great point. Let people fly. I think that was something that I had trouble with. When I first was, my first executive chef job, I was 25. I had no business being an executive chef. I was basically an interim executive chef. I was just trying to keep my head above water, and I was thankful for the opportunity. And I think that's how you get anything, is you have to jump in both feet without being ready necessarily. But letting people fly, though, I think eventually, it's you're never going to get anywhere if you're breathing over someone's neck. You're never going to, especially if you want to grow and you want to work at a bigger company, a bigger place. There's no way I'd be able to do that at where I work now. I mean, you have to be able to train and let people do their thing. Because, most of the time you'll be surprised and, they'll do a great job and you'll be rewarded for it. So it's all full circle.